guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, karibu, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always making time to come and be with me. So I'm having a sit down and I'm actually just in my hotel room relaxing. It's been a busy day full of activities. It was our last day here in Zanzibar and I just decided to sit down and give you guys a small breakdown of how we spent our money here, what our budget was, and also the things that you need to know before you travel to Zanzibar. So if you are interested for that kind of stuff, please stick around, watch till the end, because this is going to help you in case you've been planning to come to Zanzibar or you have the desire to come to Zanzibar. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. If you haven't subscribed, guys, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing so you don't get left out every time I upload new adventures. Make sure you press the notification bell so that every time I post something new, a nice adventure, you get notified. And without further ado, let's jump right into this video. So I'll be using my phone right here, so don't mind if I take my eyes away from you for a little bit. Let me first tell you the things that you need to know, and then I'll finish with the budget. I think that's a good thing, yeah? So the things you need to know before you come to Zanzibar. First of all, I think you need to know that Zanzibar is very, very beautiful and it's worth being on your bucket list. That is the first thing you definitely need to know. Zanzibar is absolutely amazing and it's worth being on your bucket list. The second thing I think you need to know is the waters here are very cold. And I'm not talking about like the showers, because then you can have your room, with hot shower. I'm talking about the beaches. The beaches are to die for. They are beautiful, but the water, oh my God, it's very, very cold. Very, very cold. Get it from someone who comes from Watamu. Watamu is in the coastal region of Kenya. So our waters are very warm, like especially if the sun is out, then the waters are not cold. And everybody who has gone to Mombasa as well, I'm sure you have experienced the same. The water is not cold. But here in Zanzibar, the waters are really cold. Or maybe also the people who are maybe from Zanzibar, please comment in the comment section and tell me. I could be wrong, because you see, I've traveled here in July. Maybe that's your cold season and probably that's why the beaches are, or the waters are cold. Maybe someone from Zanzibar can confirm that kindly. Or if you've traveled to Zanzibar any other time, maybe during the summer, then you can comment also in the comment section. Let me know if the waters for you back at that time were warm enough. If not, then we can conclude that yes, Zanzibar beaches, the waters are cold. The other thing you need to know is Zanzibar is in Tanzania, of course. So for you to get to Zanzibar, you must first get to Tanzania. So depending on where you're coming from, your borders is going to be, maybe your border is going to be at Namanga or Tanga. Yeah, if you're coming from Nairobi, then your border is Namanga. If you're coming from Mombasa, then your border is Tanga. I'm not aware of the other countries because I'm talking from the experience of traveling from Kenya. So I think for the other people, then your entrance is still going to be Dar es Salaam. I want to assume, yes. So your entrance is probably Dar es Salaam. If you're coming from America, Europe, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. I've seen lots of South Africans here. So yeah, the other thing you need to know for me, I think, is change all your money, because you're getting into the new country and you need to use their currency. Change the money at the border. So let me speak in terms of a Kenyan traveling to Tanzania. Make sure when you get to Namanga, if you intend to spend maybe 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 Kenya shillings, change all that into Tanzanian money at the border, because it's cheaper there. And let me give you a very practical example. We personally got a rate of 18. He started us at 18, but then we negotiated to 18.5. Yeah, so we changed, and the plan for us was we decided to change just like 3/4 of the money that we had, and then the quarter we said will change when we get to Tanzania. But that, I would say, was a very big mistake, because the minute we crossed the border, the price went higher. So we were getting at 16 in a normal forex bank and all that, 16 and 16.5. But then if you go, to those that are not banks and all, like the lesser institutions, then we got at 17, which you can see is still not a deal, because we got at 18.5 at the border. So that's why I'm saying change all your money at the border. Now at this point, let me also say, if you are coming from another country or another continent, I would advise that you try and have enough dollars, because I've seen most of the prices here, they're giving in dollars and the Tanzanian shillings. So if you have the dollars, then you're safer. So now that we're even talking about currencies, let me just give you what they're using. So for the dollar, I've seen most places they're changing at 2,300 Tanzanian shillings. So for $1, you get 2,300 Tanzanian shillings. That's what I've seen. For the euro, I've seen one euro is getting 2,200 Tanzanian shillings. I've seen other places 2,100. Yeah. And then for Kenya, of course, like I said, it's starting from 16 all the way up to 20. There's a place that actually has 20. Yeah, that one I saw. There's a place that has 20. So it just depends with, they keep saying here, biashara ni tofauti, like that means businesses are different, and that's why they have different rates. So take note of that. So now we're still talking money matters. The other thing I think you should know is, if you're in Kenya, if you're coming from Kenya, and Kenya, we use Mpesa a lot. That's like our savior. I personally am addicted to Mpesa. Like, I really rely on Mpesa for everything. So if you come from Kenya and you still want to use Mpesa services, it is very possible. You just have to dial *334#. You dial *334#, and it gives you all the Mpesa menu, send money, withdraw, and all that. Now, if you're a spender like me, who seems excited and just goes all out, you might have carried some money and say, this is what I want to use, and you change that. Yes, that's okay. But then you get here, you spend all your money on other things, and then you are stranded. You don't have any other money, but maybe your money is on your Mpesa wallet or Mpesa account. You can still withdraw that money here in Tanzania. If you want to actually withdraw money, you can also withdraw money in Tanzania from your Mpesa account. And this is how. So you just dial star, the same code, hash. Remember, this is the code that you use throughout. So from there, you choose send money, one. Then from there, select send money there, and then enter phone number. So the Mpesa guy will give you a phone number. Press reply. Then from there, enter the amount that you want to withdraw. For me, I want to do 6,000. Then you just enter your PIN. That's private. And then, so it will tell you he wants to. So just press accept. Then it says please wait for confirmation short message. Just dismiss that. So it has sent me a confirmation saying you have sent Kisali Mbise 6,000. So this is the Mpesa message. So I'll show the agent here in Tanzania, and then he will give me money, but they now give you in Tanzanian shillings. So they'll just multiply that with the rate depending. So either 18, 19 or 20. And that's how you get money. So if you have money in your Mpesa and you're in Tanzania, don't get stranded. You can still make use of the money in your Mpesa wallet. And for those that don't have Mpesa, but of course you still have your credit cards, still have your debit cards, you still have that. So you can still also withdraw money from the bank institutions or the money financial institutions, but of course the exchange rate is going to be very high. That is the only downside to it. So I would say come prepared with good money. So the other thing I think you should know is I personally was having a very hard time understanding the Tanzanian currency. I'm gonna be very honest, and no pun intended, please, for our Tanzanian friends. So I think the first thing, let me tell you, if you want to quickly understand so that you're not confused, when they tell you an amount, they tell you something costs this much, if you're from Kenya, just divide that by 20 quickly in your head. Then it will give you Kenyan money how much you're paying for. So it will show you, is it too expensive? Is it too, or is it affordable? If you're in dollars, just quickly divide that by 2300, and then it just gives you a rough estimate. But something else is the currency. I've noticed for like Kenya, our highest denomination is 1000, but for Tanzania the highest denomination is 10,000. So we're still talking money. I think at this point, let me mention the other thing that you need to know is the cost of the very basic things that you would probably spend on when you're here. So let me just give you the costings. The first thing I would probably talk about food. So for most foods, a plate of chips, that is fries, and chicken, a quarter chicken, was coming to around 8,000 Tanzanian shillings. A bottle of water, a 1.5, like that, 1.5. A bottle of water goes for 1,000. If you go lower, the smaller pack goes for 500 Tanzanian shillings. Sodas for a 600 ml, it was 1,000. Maybe chapati, for those who love chapati like me. If you're eating it at a high-end place, then you pay 2,000 for it. If you're eating it at a local place, you pay 500 for it. And then from food, let me take you to transportation. So transportation, first thing you need to know is they call their matatus or their PSV dala dala. Dala dala, that's what they call them. So that you pay 400 for per trip. So 400. If you take a dala dala from here to there, 400, sorry. 400. And then tuk-tuks, they also have tuk-tuks here. I think Kenyans know tuk-tuks, and I think Nigerians, you call them keke. Yeah, so that is 5,000 Tanzanian shillings. And then for piki-piki, which is Okada or motorbike or boda boda, is 2,000. Now, let me also tell you something else I think you need to know. It's always good to interact with locals. Every time you travel to a new place, try and interact with the locals. So how you say hello here in Tanzania is kwema. So if you meet someone and you want to greet them, just tell them kwema. Kwema is just simply asking. It's Swahili to ask, are you good? Yeah? So kwema. So you tell them kwema and they'll tell you kwema. They'll probably proceed with the greeting, but you'll be like, okay, that's all I know. Yeah, so, but the other thing I've noticed, if you're actually from the coastal parts of Kenya, then you're gonna have a blast here in Tanzania. You're gonna have it easy because mostly if you've actually mastered how to speak as like a coastarian, you're gonna have an easy time here, because the minute you speak to them in your the coastarian Kiswahili, then they'll think you're actually one of them. Maybe your dressing then might, separate you from the locals, But if you're from the coastal towns, I would highly recommend you try and speak the coastal Swahili. You're gonna have an easier time here. If you are from Nairobi, I would still encourage you speak Swahili, because at least you understand Kiswahili. Try your Sheng Swahili, try just speak Kiswahili. It makes it easier for them. Not that they don't understand English, they do, but you'd have an easier time if you speak to them in Kiswahili. So I think that's something really nice to note. So personally, coming from Watamu, which is a coastal part, and I'm able to speak the coastal Swahili, I was having an easy time. In fact, the group that I was traveling with, when we get to somewhere, they were all keeping quiet and letting me talk, because then if I speak to the locals, we don't get overcharged, because they just think I'm one of them, So it works really well if you want to bargain. Yes, if you want to bargain, speak the coastal Swahili and you'll have the best prices. Don't say I did not tell you. Okay guys, so finally, now I know you're all waiting for the budget. How much? How much? I know that's what you all want to hear. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. I love you guys. So our budget was 35,000. That's what we wanted to spend in Tanzania for 1 week per person. I traveled with a group of 6. That's 350 USD. That's what we had purposed to spend. But we overspent. We did not stick to that budget. We spent 38,000 Kenya shillings. That in Tanzanian shillings is around 678,400. So for the bus, we paid 3,800 Kenya shillings per person. The price I'm giving you guys is per person. We got here at 11 p.m. Dar es Salaam. So we had to spend that night in Dar es Salaam and then wake up in the morning to proceed with the journey to Zanzibar. So we spent the night and we paid per person. Our hotel room or our accommodation was 800 Kenya shillings, which is roughly 15,000 Tanzanian shillings. From there, the next morning, we woke up and we went to the ferry. So the ferry, going to the ferry, we were charged a price. The taxi was around 3,500 Tanzanian shillings, so roughly 200 Kenya shillings. Transport ferry 3,500 and roughly 72,000. There was taxi that picked us up when we got to the port here at Zanzibar that took us to our Airbnb. So that we were charged 300 Kenya shillings per person, which is roughly 5,000 Tanzanian shillings. So when we got to Stone Town, we spent 2 nights here. So 2 nights per person. We had booked an Airbnb. Per person, we paid 3,600 Kenya shillings. So that was roughly 64,400 Tanzanian shillings. From there, we moved to Nungwi via Daladala or their bus, their PSV, which we paid 2,300, but it can also be 2,500. We paid 2,300 Tanzanian shillings. So we got to Nungwi and we booked a place to stay for 3 nights. And that place, we were charged 5,000 per person for the 3 nights. 5,000 per person for the 3 nights. That's roughly 90,000 Tanzanian shillings. Guys, remember we are on a budget, so we were really trying to look for a budget-friendly place, but something that's also very decent. As you've seen from the videos, the places are very decent. So I think I've covered accommodation and transport up to that point. Let me now tell you excursions. So in this budget I'm giving you so far, the money that it's automatic you're gonna spend. So now the excursions. And I've only picked the famous excursions here in Zanzibar. You know, the things that you must do when you come, like you must. The first excursions that we did Prison Island. We went to Prison Island. So going to Prison Island from Stone Town, you needed to take a boat to the island. And so the boat, we were charged 10,000 Tanzanian shillings per person, which is roughly 600 Kenya shillings per person. That is to and fro. And then when we got to Prison Island, we had to pay an entry fee of, I'll say $4. If you're paying in dollars, it's $4. But if you're paying in Tanzanian shillings, you pay 10,000 Tanzanian shillings, which is roughly 600 Kenya shillings. From there, we did a Spice Farm tour. So in Spice Farm tour, that's still Stone Town. When you get to Spice Farm, you're not going to pay an entry fee. But then there are tour guides who are supposed to take you around. And those are the people that you need to pay. So the cost that you incur is paying the tour guide. And then once you finish your tour, they have all these stores where you can buy perfumes made from the spices, and also you can buy the spices from the farm. And that they encourage you so that you promote the locals. So those are the 2 guaranteed expenditure that you're gonna incur when you go to Spice Farm. So for us, the lady we met was asking for 10,000 per head because we were 6 of us. But I'm the queen of negotiations, so we did not pay 10,000 per person. My God, I feel like we didn't do her well. We paid 10,000 as a group. We paid 10,000 as a group, but then we also tipped her just something small. Just bring your negotiation game. Because if you don't, they're out to make money from you. It's mgeni njoo mwenyeji apone. It simply means you are the tourist, so you're bringing money. So if you're not careful, then they really take advantage. From there, we did a dhow cruise just to see the sunset and just enjoy the Zanzibar beaches. They will start you at 40,000 per head. So that's the starting range. They will start you at 40, 35, 30. You can negotiate. So we negotiated until we got to 20,000 per person. But please note, if you're a group, then it's easier to negotiate these prices, because the person will look at, okay, it's 6 people, then I get something, But if you're just one person, then it becomes really hard. You understand? I think it's just economies of scale, From the dhow cruise, we went to Kilosa Conservation. Kilosa Conservations, we paid 20,000 Tanzanian shillings, which is roughly 1,100 Kenya shillings. And then finally, the creme de la creme of activities here in Zanzibar, the Baraka Aquarium, where you get to swim with turtles. So that was the last place that we visited, and we paid 20,000 per person, roughly 1,100 Kenya shillings to enter. Some of these places, it was hard to negotiate the prices because they have fixed prices, but where you can't try and negotiate, negotiation always helps. You save some few coins, you do something else. So if you look at all the excursions, the transportation and accommodation, that was coming to 30,000 Kenya shillings, but our budget is 38,000. So all I'm trying to say is then the 8,000 that's left is for your pocket money, and that's the money that now you use to buy food. That's the money you use to tip if you want to tip. That's the money you use to buy souvenirs if you want to buy souvenirs. Now, I'm not saying all of us stuck to the budget. Personally, I did not stick to that budget. I went overboard. Yes, I got excited, guys. So really nice stuff that I saw, like very nice souvenirs. So I went all out, buying for my son, buying for my husband, buying for myself. And so that really threw me off budget. 38 instead of 38,000, which everybody or most of the people spent, I personally spent 46,000. So I went over my budget with 8,000, guys, Kenya shillings. But I don't regret it, because the things I bought are for the people that I love, and they were good things. They were really nice things. So in conclusion, if you're strictly on a budget and you're not an overspender, and you're not going to get carried away when you see nice stuff like I did, then 38,000 is very comfortable for you to do a budget travel here in Zanzibar. If you're not on a budget, then I would say put 50,000. 50,000 should be able to see you through nicely for a week here in Zanzibar. If you have been to Zanzibar, kindly comment in the comment section and let me know what is your experience. I personally loved this place. I'm coming back. Zanzibar, I am coming back. I have to come back. I was sending my husband all the pictures and the videos, and he's like, you need to take me there. I'm like, say no more, babe. I'll take you there. So Zanzibar, I'm definitely coming back. For those that have not made time to come to Zanzibar and you really want to, I would highly recommend that you come and check this place out. It's heavenly. It is paradise. As always, remember to be kind to one another, love one another, and treasure every minute you spend with one another, because tomorrow is not promised. Bye bye.